NFL Pick'em Week 4. You guys know how this segment goes. Last week I didn't like it too much. I breezed through it. Maybe that's the reason I went 12-1 in my picks because I wasn't thinking about my picks too much. But this week, since River's not here, I guess we have no choice but to actually explain why we're picking our teams. So I'll go first. Falcons versus Panthers. I got the Panthers. I got the Falcons winning this one. The reason I got the Falcons is because the Panthers won the first one. And I feel like this is how division games go. You know, one team wins the first one, the other team wins the next one. So I got Atlanta in this one.
I'm going to go with the Panthers. I think that Teddy Bridgewater looked really good against the Saints. He's been solid this season. I like Matt Rule as a head coach, and they were a 65-yard NFL record-breaking field goal away from going to overtime with the Saints, who I think are a really good team. I think they'll build off that, and I still don't trust the Falcons. You look at I feel like you can never trust the Falcons, and realistically, they got screwed by that Todd Gurley touchdown that shouldn't have been a touchdown, but
they should have won.
Yeah, I trust the Panthers more than I trust the Falcons. I don't trust the Falcons at all with any lead, so I'm going to go Panthers.
Next game, Vikings versus Packers. I have the Packers in this one simply because they have the Vikings number. I can't remember when the Vikings beat the Packers. I can't remember the last time that happened. The Packers are on a roll. They're one of the best teams in the NFL, and the Vikings, they suck. So the Packers are going to win this game.
Don't hold back at all. Tell us how you really feel. Nah, the Packers are just a much better team overall. I don't see the Vikings even competing in this one. I think it's going to be a blowout. I just think the Vikings are down in the dumps, and the Packers have been the exact opposite. I think that you can make an argument they're a top 3, top 5 team in football right now. Aaron Rodgers, he's ridiculous. You know what Aaron Rodgers is. He's an MVP candidate every season, and that offense is starting to click. Devontae Adams had one of the biggest games of the season on Sunday, and when that offense is clicking, there's not many teams in the league that can stop them, let alone the lowly Vikings. So I'm going Packers.
Next game, Titans versus Bengals. Pretty easy for me. I got the Titans.
I also got the Titans. A little bounce back after they clawed back in that Steelers game. I was impressed. You know, it looked like they were totally flat.
They were going to tie it if
half.
Gostkowski didn't miss the field goal.
Yeah, and that was a really bad miss. And I think that says a lot about them as a team. Even though they lose that game, for them to come back in that, it says a lot about Tannehill as a quarterback, Mike Vrabel as a coach. They are not going to be, and this is what I said when we talked about them a few weeks ago, and Titans fans got really mad at me because I said 9 times out of 10 they're going to lose to the Chiefs. But every single week they play, they're going to come in and fight. I think that they are a much better team than the Bengals. They're going to win this one, but I wouldn't count them out any week.
Yeah. Next game, Jets versus Chiefs. I got the Chiefs.
We could have just skipped that one, honestly. I'm going Chiefs.
Colts versus Lions. I have the Lions. The Lions are hot. I picked them to make the playoffs. This is where they start their playoff run, and they're going to beat the Colts. I haven't been too impressed with how the Colts have been playing in general. Most of their defensive stats have come against bad teams, so I feel like they're kind of inflated. I have the Lions in this one.
This is a tough one. This is one of the games that I've gone back and forth on. I haven't been too impressed by either team, but I'm going to go Lions. I think that they'll carry the momentum off the win last week. Like you mentioned, I haven't been impressed with the Colts at all. I like a couple of the pieces that the Lions have in place, and Matt Patricia, defensive head coach. I think that Phillip Rivers will struggle, and the Lions will get the win.
Next game, Steelers versus Ravens. I have the Steelers because the Ravens can't play from behind. The Steelers are going to stop their run game, and the Ravens are going to have to play from behind, and they're not going to be able to win.
This is going to be a great game to watch, first of all. I am going to go Steelers, if for no other reason than I think I've picked against the Steelers almost every week this season, and every week they win, and I'm not going to let that happen again. That defense is ridiculous. I doubted them last week, missing Devin Bush, but it was almost like they didn't miss a beat. And like you mentioned, the Ravens do not play well from behind. And Ben Roethlisberger, I want to say this because Ben Roethlisberger was a big question mark of mine coming into the season. For him to come back from Tommy John surgery the way he has been so impressive. I give him all the credit in the world. I'm not a huge Big Ben fan, but for him to be able to come back from that, it takes a lot of hard work, and I give him a lot of credit. I'm going to go Steelers in this one. They stay undefeated.
Rams versus Dolphins. I have the Rams because the Dolphins are 19th against the run. And the Rams, what do they like to do the most? They like to run. And football is about matchups. The Dolphins don't match up well with the Rams.
My heart wants me to pick the Dolphins.
It's Tua's first start.
But I was just going to say that it's Tua's first start. Aaron Donald on that defensive line. That is a lot for your first NFL head start or your first NFL start. I just don't know how Tua's going to handle that pressure. You know the Rams are going to get pressure on him because the Dolphins' offensive line isn't anything spectacular. I don't know how well he's going to handle that, so I'll go Rams.
Patriots versus Bills. I have the Patriots in this one. The Patriots are on their longest losing streak since 2002. They're still a well-coached football team. The Bills have been flat. They haven't been looking like they're well-coached lately. And I think their bad play is going to catch up to them. It almost did against the Jets. It's going to catch up to them against the Patriots.
I'm going to go Bills because I just don't believe that they are what they showed this past weekend against the Jets. I think they played down to the competition. And I think, honestly, it was a little bit of a wake-up call to them. And they needed that wake-up call because their next few games are going to be hell. And if they want to win those, they're going to have to get the ball rolling with the Patriots. This is going to be their last chance to get into form. They kind of blew it with the Jets, even with a win. I was not impressed at all by their performance, so I think they're going to come out firing going into a tough stretch of their schedule. I'll go Bills.
Next game, first game the Browns have without Odell. Raiders versus Browns. I have the Browns. The Raiders are 16th against the run. What do the Browns like to do? They like to run the ball like the Rams, so I have the Browns in this one.
I don't know what the status of the entire Raiders offensive line is going to be for the next entire week moving forward, even if they are able to play on Sunday. So for that reason, I'm going to go Browns. Getting that whole unit back is going to be a struggle, and figuring out that chemistry again, it's a messy situation. I'm staying away from the Raiders. I'm going Browns.
Next game, Chargers versus Broncos. To me, this game is easy. I have the Chargers.
I'm also going Chargers. The Broncos have looked bad.
Yeah. Next game, Saints versus Bears. I have the Bears in this one. I think Michael Thomas isn't going to play, and the Bears defense is elite. I don't think Breeze is going to have too much time in the pocket. I don't think the receivers are going to get open, and I think Nick Foles is going to get going this game.
I wish I knew what Michael Thomas's status is going to be for that game because I think that'll make a big difference. Obviously, having a weapon like that would make a big difference in any game, but against that tough Chicago defense, it would be nice to have a reliable star wide receiver there to bail you out of some situations. I'll go Saints, though. I feel like I'm waiting for them to break out, and I don't know if it's coming, but if it's coming, it's got to happen soon. This isn't the best matchup for it, but I'll still go Saints.
Okay. 49ers versus Seahawks. I have the 49ers in this game. And the reason is because the Seahawks like to pass the ball. We know they're a pass-heavy team now. But the 49ers are third. They're third in passing yards a game. They allow the least amount of yards per game, the third least amount of yards passing-wise a game. So I think 49ers get back on track. People have slept on them, including me, because they were so injured to begin the year. They didn't start off too hot, got blown out by Miami. But this is the game that's going to open up a lot of people's eyes to how good 49ers are and how vulnerable the Seahawks actually are.
I'm going to go Seahawks in this game. I think that they know they need to bounce back, especially with another division opponent coming off a tough loss. And I think that when it comes down to it, Russell Wilson is not going to let them lose this game. And also, I don't know if I trust Jimmy G to hang in a shootout with Russell Wilson, which seems like is the recipe to beating the Seahawks. You need a quarterback that's going to be able to duel it out with Russell Wilson, and I don't know if Jimmy G is capable of that right now.
Cowboys versus Eagles. I have the Eagles. This is easy for me. The Cowboys have looked like the worst team in the NFL since Dak went down. Eagles have this game.
Yeah, and I don't even know what Andy Dalton's status is going to be for next week.
Yeah,
Coming
I
off
think
of
he's
that
out.
big hit, I'm sure he's not going to be able to play. So, who is even going to? Are they going to try and pick somebody up,
I
or
don't know, but their third string quarterback, I forgot his name, but he looked really bad.
yeah?
So they probably have to.
So that's a mess of a situation. I'm going to go Eagles, and man, have the Cowboys that season has been flipped upside down.
Last game, Buccaneers versus Giants. I have the Bucks.
Yeah, it's an easy one. I'm going Bucks too.